up guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So this is just a quick video announcing that the lesson on Hey Joe from Are You Experienced album Note for Note is available at GuitarForce.com for purchase. I know I did a lesson on Hey Joe in the past where I made an overview of that song and give you some tips and theory background how you can approach that chord progression, that song, and also showed you some of the licks that Jimmy did when he played that song. But this lesson is actually a note for note lesson on how to play Hey Joe from Are You Experienced album, and this was requested and supported by Craig, so big thanks goes out to him. In this part I'm just going to show you the first part of the lesson. The rest, the full lesson, you can get at GuitarForce.com. It's going to be the full transcription, note for note of the song. And one more thing I have to mention is regarding tuning. So the tuning is going to be standard, but Jimmy didn't use the standard tuner 440 Hertz. He was using it slightly lower, so he tuned his guitar to 432. And that is what you can hear on the album, and it's not half step down, but it's sort of in the middle. So that is the tip that I can give you regarding tuning, and the lesson is going to be in that tuning. Also, it's going to have the backing track, a really cool backing track without vocals, unfortunately, but with the backing track, and also with the PDF files of the tabs. So if you're interested, the link is going to be in the description box down below. Right now I'm going to give you my low E string for your tuning reference, and also I'm going to post the picture of the preset that I was using to record this lesson. So here's my low E. Alright, so now let's go for the close-up and start the lesson. Alright, so we're going to break up this song into parts. We're going to start off with the intro part, then we go into the verses, and during the verses we have this the same chord progression which repeats itself over and over again. So we have the C chord, C major going to G. Each of these chords is being played for 2 beats or half a bar each of the chords. Then we have the second bar, which is D to A. Also each of the chords is played for half a bar or 2 beats. And then we have 2 bars of the E major chord. So 2 bars of E, and then the cycle starts again. So again we go C, G, D, A, E. And during the verses we're going to be playing 4 of these parts. So one verse consists of 4 of these rounds, and then after that we go right into the second verse, which is also consists of 4 rounds of these chord progressions. So what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to be playing each of the part once, and then we're going to break it down. So we're going to start off with the intro, and it goes like this. Alright, so here we start off with some slides. So we go from the 3rd fret on the B string, sliding into the 5th fret, but also at the same time picking the high E string open, so you get this double sound. And then when we get to the 5th fret, we then slide back to the 3rd fret. And these slides are what are called the grace notes. So in other words, it's just a quick slide into that note. You can do grace note by hammering on the same effect, but slightly different sound. So we have these 2 slides, and as you can hear, here is what is called the double stop. So the open high E string and the 3rd fret on the B string. So these 2 slides at first in the beginning, then we do the same, but we do it on the G string, and we just slide in from the 4th fret to the 2nd, just on that string. Then we pull off to the open string. Then we have the grace note, a quick hammer on the D string from open to the 2nd fret, like that. And actually you can play like a double stop here, so creating the E major chord like that. So far we got this slowly. So after this hammer on here onto the E chord, we then play the low E string open, and then we kind of breaking up the chord into these little parts, or arpeggiating the chord. Then we have, so here starts off with an octave, sliding into the D octave here, which is on the 5th fret of the A and 7 on the G string, and before that we pick the low E string open, so we have like that, open low E, then sliding into this octave. Then again we pick the low E string open, then this time we play this double stop, so it's just like an octave, but also we are fretting the D string on the 5th string, on the 5th fret, so we have this chord. After that we pick the low E again, then we move down 1 fret and we use the same shape here, and then we go down to the E. So this is essentially an E chord, but we add also, because we're using the same shape, we're adding that G string here as an octave, like that. So we have, so far we got this. Okay, so we pick it twice, and then we have this little fill, which is, so it's a just double stop here on the 7th fret of the D and the G strings, and we're hammering onto the 9th fret on the D string, and then we keep it like that. So we're creating a little chord here, and we also pick the B and the G strings on the 7th fret. So after the hammer on, so we do it for 2 times. And then we slide out from that 9th fret here on the D string. So that's the intro. I'm going to play all of the parts slowly. It goes like this. Okay, one more time, up to speed. Alright, so now we go into the first verse, and like I said, we're going to be playing these chord progressions, so I'm going to be playing the first part, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like, the first part goes like this. Okay, so here we're going to be using the C shape for the C chord, and we're going to be playing sort of like breaking up the chord, so playing the bass notes first and then the rest of the chord. So we play the C like that, then we go to the G chord. Now a rhythmical side of things is always changing, so you know, you can do the same, just playing the chords, changing at the right time. What you do with your picking hand is totally up to you, but the kind of general guidelines is that you break up the chord, so you play the bass note first and then play the whole chord, then move on to the next chord. Again, like I said, different rhythmical figures here. So I'm going to leave it up to you how you want to approach it, and whatever picking patterns you want to use over this over these parts. So after that we go to the G. G, we're using this shape, so it's just like the standard bar chord, but because Jimmy used his thumb over the neck, he would use it like that. So we have, then we go to the D chord, which is in this shape here, 5th fret root note, A, kind of the power chord, going to the E. The first feel that we have, so in the end of the bar we have a slide into the 7th fret of the low E string. Then we go to the 5th fret of the A, and we do it 2 times. Then getting back to the E chord, so playing the low E string open, and then staying on the chord for the whole measure, for the whole bar. So that's the first round. Let's do it one more time. It goes like this. Alright, next round goes like this. Okay, so again, starts off with the C. Now this time we're going to be using this shape, the A shape. So again, breaking up the chord. Bass notes, then the rest of the chord, then we go to the G. Now here we're going to be adding what is called an add 9, so the 5th fret of the high E string, adding with the pinky like that, and that is why it's easier to use Jimmy's grip like that with the thumb, so you can use the pinky adding other notes as well. So going to the G chord, adding that movement from with the pinky from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the high E string. So this is add 9 going to just a regular G chord. Then we have a little slide here on the low E string. He used that a lot also. Going to the 5th fret, then we go into the D chord. A lot of times Jimmy would use the second inversion, which means that we have the D chord like that, but he would use the A note as well in the bass note. So going to the D, then we have this little movement, which is the double stop 7th fret of the A and the D strings to the 9. So we have like that. Then we go to the A chord, and this time we're going to be using this shape here, the open chord. In the end, so we stay on the A, and then in the end, before going to the E chord, we have the low E string 3rd fret slide bend, and then the first feel. So it's staying on the E chord, and then so we have here open to the 3rd fret on the low E string, and we do it twice. Second feel goes like this. So here, when we stay on the E chord, just before going back to the 3rd round of the chord progression, we have sliding into the 4th fret on the G string. Then we have, you can leave your finger here and play these double stop. So between 3rd frets on the B and 4th on the G string. Or as a variation, you can also add the high E string open. Then after the slide here, picking that double stop twice. Then we add the 5th frets on the B string You can also play it with the high E string open, like that, and then back to the 3rd fret, back to the G string, 4th fret, sliding out, like that. So one more time, the whole second round goes like this. Alright guys, so that was it for part 1 of the lesson. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to continue learning the whole lesson, check out the link in the description box down below. Please comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar related stuff. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.